I want to talk about how clients fundamentally misunderstand their own experience and how a lot of the people who try to help them, such as alleged therapists and coaches, almost always fall for the exact same misunderstanding. And that is, if you're ever seeing clients, you have heard the words, but what about when I'm in the situation? So let's say that you're working with someone who's anxietizing or phobicking. They're scared while they're on the plane or when doing their public presentation or when they're in elevators, and you do work in the office on how they think or helping them realize that they do in fact think, and they feel different, but then they say the magic words. But what about when I'm in the situation? How will I react then? And here's the thing, we don't react to situations, we experience our mind's predictions about what it thinks it's going to experience next. So, the really interesting thing is that if you're in the situation and you know that you're in the situation, you're completely fine. I always say this to clients. If you're on an airplane and you're in the situation and you're knowingly in the situation, meaning you know you're in the situation, you're experiencing at a sensory level, you're completely fine. There's for you to freak out or panic or get anxious, you have to leave the situation that you're in with your thinking, and you have to, in your mind, create an alternative situation and then forget that the whole thing is a thought. But when doing that, you have, with your mind, left the situation that you're actually in and replaced it with a thought construct. So, to feel anxious or to freak out, you have to leave the actual situation that you're in, and you have to create an alternative thought construct in your mind and forget that it's a thought construct. So the irony in this is that if you can help someone to actually be in the situation and be so in a knowing way, there is no anxiety. You don't experience anxiety if you're in the situation and you know that you're in the situation. So I remember a few years ago, I worked with a woman who had uh, attempted to run over a local bridge, which is like 10, 12 meters across the water, not far from here. And she'd had a slight panic attack both times. So this was a nice test for us, right? And we did some work in my office, and I took her to the bridge. This was in November, so it was a bit cold, it was snow, and we walked onto the bridge, and she was calm. And she looked at me and she said, Jurgen, it's so weird that I'm so calm now that I'm in the situation. And I looked at her and I said, no, not at all, because you're in the situation and you know that you're in the situation. And she looked at me a bit weirdly, and I said, look, let's not get too philosophical. Let's, for the purposes of practicality, agree that the situation consists of what you and I can verify with our senses to be there. This, of course, isn't actually really true with a capital T, but it's a functional way of framing things. So she said, right. So I said, okay, can you see that car over there? And she said, yep, check. Okay, cold air against the face. Yep, check, I can feel that. Okay, the sound of our shoes moving through the snow as we walk. Yep, all right. Clear blue sky. Yep. Ice down there. Two people on a bridge. Me speaking, you listening. She said, yeah. I said, that's pretty much the situation. There's nothing in any of that sensory data that can make you freak out. If you're going to get anxious, you have to leave the situation and you have to, in your mind, either imagine kind of falling over to get that feeling in your tummy, forget that it's a thought, or you have to somehow imagine having a panic attack or feeling some tension in the body, and to then interpret that as meaning that you're about to not be able to breathe and this and that. But when you're doing that, you're leaving the actual situation, and that's what's generating the anxiety. So the funny thing about this is, when people come in and they say they have fear of flying or fear of public speaking, they don't have fear of flying, they have fear of thinking. They don't have fear of public speaking, they have fear of thinking. And they're always looking for ways to escape the so-called situation. Can I read something? Can I watch a movie? Can I, focus on my breathing? Because they think they need to escape the situation, but it's that attempt at escape that is the source of their anxiety. If they could actually be present with the situation, with their sensory experience, and be so knowingly, they would discover that they're absolutely fine. So this works in the exact opposite way of what almost all clients and almost all therapists think. So anyways, if my ideas resonate with you, know that I see clients from all over the world online. If you'd like to explore whether you and I could be a good fit, you can reach me at provocativehypnosis.com. I also offer mentoring and the occasional seminar. So thanks for listening.